What's up, straight from the chest? I am your host, Justin Groth. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. It means a lot to me. You know what? I'm going to starting every podcast with a segment that I'm going to call it something, but I can't think of it right now. I can't think of the word or the phrase that I want to use, but it's going to be a segment based on what irritates me, because all kinds of things irritate me, and maybe you can find some familiarity in the things that I get irritated by, or may not. I don't know. Maybe you're a person that does these things that irritate me. Either way, first I want to say, please forgive me, Lord, for being irritated. I know that's not a good thing, and I know that you should display more patience, etc., etc. But guys, we're human. Sometimes we don't think things through. Sometimes we don't think about what it means to be patient in the time that we're becoming irritated. And it's just a mood thing, right? I mean, you can't help it. It's just being human. So, for until I find a phrase or a term that I want to coin this segment, we're just going to call it the irritation segment. Until then, and today, the irritation was, look, if you're going to merge on the freeway, you have to speed up. You can't you can't travel at a pace that's weary of oncoming traffic. You're gonna get hit. What are you doing? Speed up. So when I'm traveling, I'm driving in back of somebody and they're just going at a slow pace because they're timid. You can't be timid. You gotta merge, dude. You can't be timid to get on the freeway. What are you doing? You'll get eaten alive. You'll get hit. You have to go speed of traffic. That's what they teach you. I think. I'm pretty sure that, because it's been a while since I've been in driver's ed, but I'm pretty sure they teach you to go to try to merge into the speed of traffic, right? She's going so slow. And I was like, you know what? Bet it's an old lady. Bet. Now, this might be your grandma, but it might be your mom. I don't know. I'm sorry if it is. But look, if you're going to drive the same roads as I do, then please, you have to speed up when you go into traffic. I know you're being timid and you're being cautious and all that. No, you can't almost at that point. You got to look. You got to merge. You got to take force. Or else you get your rear ends, or not rear end, you'll get probably fender bender by somebody. I don't know. You'll get somebody to ram into you. Like, come on, man, speed up. So, irritating. And it was even more irritating that she was a woman. An old woman, because I called it. And even an old man, like, they all do it. Like, there needs to be another test that you take when you get past the age of 60, that you need to take that to pass it for you to keep driving on the roads. Moving forward. Guys, the other day, last night, in fact, I was going on a walk with my dog. I do this every single night, and it's about a 25-minute walk or so. Before that walk, I'm having this conversation with my girl, and I tell her that that there's this thing that just came to my mind. Like, this is what I want. And I don't really want to talk too much about it because it doesn't matter. But there was something that, I'll just put it this way. There was something that, by anybody's measure, if I was to tell this to anybody, minus her, but probably even my mom. What in the heck? Sorry, it was a spider. Yep, there's a spider. Spider right in front of my face, guys. I hate spiders. So, great. I don't even know where it went now. Hope it's still not on me. Anyways, I can't stop. I must go on. This podcast must go on. I can't stop for a stupid spider. All right. So, now I'm thinking about it the whole time. So I tell her some asinine thing that by anybody's measure would be asinine, but to me, it's not, because I firmly believe it. I firmly believe that it could become a reality to me based on the talents that I feel that God's put inside of me. I believe that these are things that I could acquire. These are things that I could produce, not in my own right, but with God and me working as a team, as a unit. So I'm telling her, and I'm telling her as if I already have the money to do it. That's how I'm speaking. I'm speaking with so much conviction to her, and she doesn't bat an eye. Now, anybody else, if I was to tell what I told her, they would be like, yeah, you're crazy. It's not going to happen, because nobody around here has that. Nobody. Like, people have that, but they don't live here, Justin. And they don't do what you do, Justin. And I even think, and I know my mom's gonna hear this podcast, and I don't mean this in a negative a negative construct, but I believe my mom would even think twice about what I told her, because it's just so crazy. And there are things that I know that I can acquire only if I'm brought where I think God wants to bring me, if that makes any sense. And so I'm having this conversation with her. She didn't bat an eye. And I firmly believe this, just like there are things that you firmly believe, like you're rooted in. And some of them may be so, dare I say, mediocre, that it's easy to attain it, both psychologically and then physically. It's easy to attain that thing because you don't really set yourself up for grandiose blessings or grandiose favor. And if you only knew the way God sees you, he sees you as his child. And if you have a child, you want to give them everything. You want to teach them discipline, but you want to give them everything. It's like if you could give them everything, if you could give them the world, you would, provided that they still had an integral state of mind, and they had structure to them, and they had discipline to them. Because most of the times, if you give a kid stuff, they're not going to treat it right, and they're just going to, they don't really, if they didn't earn it, they're not going to, they're not going to treat it right? So you want to be careful with that, but really your heart just wants to give them everything. And so God is the same way with us, guys. He wants to give us everything, but in the process, he's got to teach us discipline, and he's got to teach us reliance to be on him. And that is hard to follow. Very hard to follow. Especially when you live in the same world that I live in. Because it's super, super easy to get brought down to others' levels that don't have visions or don't have a cloud that they're sitting on, or clouds of imagery or visions that they want to attain, and they just facilitate in the here and the now. And I get it, and that's what you should be doing. But you should never, ever lose sight of the innate hardwiring and visions that you have on a daily, perpetual basis. And so, given your visions, given that imagery, that supernatural, inquisitive energy that you have, that you want to display towards something or give to something, you have to consistently build it up. You have to consistently breathe life to it. And that's what I'm doing when I talk about those things. Even though they're crazy right now, they're not going to be crazy one day. I'm going to have those things one day. And if I don't have those things, it was for a reason. It's because God wanted to do something different with me, and he restructured the desires of my heart. But albeit those things material, that's okay. Because you got to remember, it's not just a material possession. They're byproducts off of you coming in to your destiny, to your purpose, etc. And that is the thing that's producing those monetary things. Look, you're going to have extensions in your relationships. You're going to have extensions in monetary things when you come into your purpose, provided that you're in the authentic and integral path towards your purpose and you're not trying to just, pry, give me this, give me that. But here's the thing, guys. I mean, those things can be a reality. And I'm not saying that everything's going to become a reality, but you can't lose sight of those things that get you fired up, that give you incentive. There's a reason why those exist. They didn't just get planted in you because you saw it one day and then you thought, oh yeah, I want that. That's cool. I'm going to have that. Like maybe, but if these things have been in your life for an extended period of time, years, then you have to give them merit. They're there for a reason. And you have to keep breathing life to them because you can't let those things die. It's not about the monetary things, but it's about what's going to be created, and the monetary things come as a byproduct. But all the while, you're creating your future because everybody knows you can't just go out of your door and go to your money tree and pick money off the branches and go to the dealership and buy a car or go to your realtor and buy a house. That's not how it works. So obviously, you're going to have to come into your destiny, your purpose, to be able to afford these things or to be able to do the things from a philanthropy state that you want, or philanthropic state that you want, or from a state of maybe you want to do charity work, or maybe you want to buy that house or buy that car. All of those things, or all of those things. You have to come to a state of believability within yourself, and you have to come within a state of you have to continuously strengthen that argument with yourself. That's the biggest thing. Strengthening the argument that comes as a result of you being around mediocrity or you being around people that don't have those things. Because it's not feasible, maybe to them, maybe they live a different life than you. Maybe they have different vision. Well, no, they do have different visions than you. But that shouldn't take away the warrant or the merit behind what you have inside of you, or what's breeding inside of you, or what's manifesting inside of you. And so people will continuously try to bring you down to their levels depending on the circle of people that you're with. And as I'm telling my girl, she's on the same page as me. She knows and believes in me. She knows that I'm capable of those things. She knows that I'm capable of manifesting these things through the vision that I'm working with within God. It's not all by myself. I have a podcast called You're Not Self-Made. Nobody's self-made. That was 30 podcasts ago, but go back to it, listen to it, because it's the truth. Nobody's self-made, including you, and you're only who you are because of God. That's it, period. Yes, a little bit of your upbringing, but because of your faith, because of the constructs that God's put inside of you, that is who you are. And because of the blessings and the doors that God's opened for you, that's why you're where you're at. That's it. Period. And here's the thing. If you allow yourself to be centered around people that don't believe in you, are not a supporter of you, you're going to dwindle. You're going to deteriorate. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question if those things are even a possibility. If you can even attain what your heart or your gut is desiring. It's not a bad thing to want certain things to make other people's lives better, including yourself. God wants that for you. That's not a selfish state of mind. If you don't believe me, go back and read the Bible. You can even Google it, guys. You're not a Bible reader? Fine. Google it. Ask Google, what does it say in the Bible about God wanting things for your life? I don't know, something like that. Bet you find scriptures that is God displaying love to his children. It's his children. Yes, he wants you to be disciplined and he needs to make you resilient. So there's certain processes that he allows you to go through. But in the same time, guys, his heart for you is love, is everything. He wants you to have the things that you want. But in that same connotation, there are limits to that, right? There are limits to that for your own good. So I say, this is what I want. This is what I believe in myself to be able to manifest or manufacture in the future. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get them, but guys, I'm going to keep dreaming and I'm going to keep building that vision and I'm going to act like it's a reality because I feel in my heart it's going to be a reality one day. I walked out. The reason why I talk about walking my dog, and I lost track, but guys, I go outside to walk my dog, and I all of a sudden, for some reason, just had this cloud of incentive to look forward to. Guys, nothing had changed. Well, it could have been my brain more stimulated from the bang that I just drank like 10 minutes before, but I don't think so. It was because that's a feeling given to me by God as almost like a reassurance. Like he's telling me without telling me. That can happen, man. That can happen. And I say I want this. Maybe God wants even bigger for me. And the same thing for you. But you believe so small. And you have a lackluster vision. Guys, you got to get bigger visions. You got to get bigger believability. You got to get bigger strength. And if that is all centered around the people that you're hanging around, you got to get different people. I see it a lot. You got to get people that are supporters of you. You got to get people that believe in you, that believe in the things that you're saying, even though if they're asinine to the regular population. It's really not. These things are easily attainable. Given the kind of gifts that you have that he gave you, these things are easily attainable. The one blocking you from these gifts is your own mind. Don't discredit yourself. Don't discount yourself because you don't have the strength yet internally and psychologically to break through those corridors and tell the devil, that's not your plan. That's not my plan. I don't care about I don't care what you want to do. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care who you're bringing in my life to tell me that I'm not or I'm less than or whatever. I don't believe you. I don't believe him. I don't believe her. I don't need any of them. I know exactly the way that I wake up every single morning, the feelings that I have every single morning. I know the feelings that I have that are embedded and bred in me, and I know that they're capable of great things. And when I say great things, I'm talking about everything that my heart is desiring, and then some, and then some, and then some. Because that's what God wants to do through me, and he wants to do it through you too. You don't think that God's going to know that you're going to be a better individual if you have more things that you can give to other people? You don't think that he understands what kind of emotion that breeds within inside of you when you give to somebody? He knows what that emotion delivers, and he knows he wants you to continue to feel it. He knows that if he wants you to feel that more often, he's going to have to give more to you, but it's going to come at a cost, dude. It's going to come at a cost, and it's going to come with trial, and you have to be willing to be going through that trial and not give up. You have to be willing to consistently believe in yourself, even if people are shitting on you or spitting on you and saying, you're not nothing, dude. You're just a loud voice. You don't have nothing good to say. You don't have nothing good to give. All you are is mediocre. You're not. They're mediocre. And they're casting their projections onto you because they can't bear for you to come up. Don't believe the people that are against you. Don't give energy to them. You consistently give energy to yourself, to your own faith, to your own visceral. You know what I say when I say visceral? I mean your gut. I mean the brain that's inside of your gut that is telling you you got more, that is telling you it may take a couple years, but you're going to be living elsewhere. You're going to be buying things you never thought you could buy. You're going to be able to give back to charities in ways you never thought you'd be able to give. You're going to be able to do things for your parents you never thought, including they never thought you could be able to do for them. You're going to do those things, and they're just the beginning. But you know where all of that dies? All of that dies when you lose believability and you lose your cloud. You lose your cloud and your vision. You step off of your cloud and you go back to reality, even though we are all in reality. I get it. But you lose your cloud of excitement. And I'm telling you, when I went on that walk, I was on a cloud of excitement. Even though nothing in the natural realm is manifesting of that. But I know better. I know that in my future, could be next month, could be next year, could be 3 years from now. I know that from now on, I'm changing. From now on, I'm manufacturing. From now on, I'm becoming productive in ways that I never thought I'd be productive. I'm becoming useful. I'm becoming utility to people. I'm becoming my legacy. And it's only because of 2 reasons: God and my own belief in what God has given me. Don't ever lose your cloud. Don't ever lose that vision. Don't ever allow people to pop your cloud or to go through your cloud like they know better than you. They don't. Don't lose your cloud, guys. Continue to believe. And you know what? Believing, that's half the battle. Consistently in your believability. That's the differentiator between people that come into their legacy and people that are just ordinary. You were not born to be ordinary, despite what your parents tell you, despite what your peers tell you, despite what any level of authority or leader has told you. You know what? They're not leaders if they bred that in your being. They're not leaders if they told you you're just meant for this and it's just regular and you're fine with that. No, they're not leaders. They're not building you up to be the person, to be the excitement, to be the encasement of everything that God called you to be. Don't lose your cloud, ever.